Okay, so hi folks, I'm back. I'm making a follow-up video to last week's video. Last week I created an advanced Zoom tutorial for dance instructors. I tailored the video to people who are moving their class online using Zoom, and I really wanted to show them a few advanced tips for audio and video so that their dance classes ran about as close to an in-person experience as you can get when you're doing it online. And it was pretty well received, that video. I'm happy to see it was pretty useful. So I now know that there are plenty of people teaching dance online, and that probably means there are plenty of people who are going to be taking dance online. And so today's video is geared towards dance students and what should they do to get as much of an experience as they can. I also understand that some of the art schools are going to be coming back to session in a couple of weeks, and so they're going to have to spin up Zoom or some tool, but I'm assuming it's Zoom at this point for their students, and so this is kind of aimed at those students as well. So right now you're looking at my laptop. I've got a PC, and so instructors and students, one of my first tips to you is once you know you're taking a Zoom dance class in Zoom, go to zoom.us and download the client to your computer. Download the Zoom client. That's the program that allows Zoom to run on your machine. So zoom.us, and then click on resources, and then click on download Zoom client. And because I'm on a PC, Zoom knew to give me the version that's meant for PC. If I were on a Mac, it would be a slightly different version. I would simply click the download, copy it to my computer, and then I would install it. Zoom doesn't need admin rights to run on a computer for most of its settings. I think there are a couple pieces where you do need an admin right, but if this is just going to one of your personal machines, you're probably an admin already, so that's not a problem. Now, let me just show you this. If you are going to be taking a dance class online using a mobile device, same concept. Days before the class, go to your Play Store, your App Store, and download the client, the app to your device. The reason I'm asking you to do this days in advance is I don't know what kind of devices you have on hand. If you've got an older laptop or an older tablet, it might not be able to run Zoom. That's going to be one of the things you want to discover sooner rather than later so that you can prepare for it. Zoom is I think I might have said this already, but Zoom is pretty resource heavy, and so older machines might not run it as well. And particularly if the dance instructor is using certain settings or if you're viewing in certain settings. So make sure that it runs on your machine. So you've downloaded it to your mobile device, you've downloaded it to your laptop if that's where you're at. So the next step is to test everything. And if you were to go to zoom.us/test, and we're going to go there now, and so it takes us to a meeting page. It's a test meeting. It's a fake meeting. Everyone around the world is using this to test right now. We're going to click join, and you see here a window pop-up, open Zoom meeting. So my Zoom install was successful because my computer recognized that the client was there. So I know it was a good install. So I click open Zoom meetings. And now this pop-up window comes up. This is like a waiting room. If you were entering someone else's Zoom and the host hadn't arrived yet, you'll also see this window. Or if you were a student in the class and the instructor was using Zoom for office hours, and so they only allow one student at a time, this is what your meeting room would look like. It allows you to do this, test computer audio, and that's really why we're here. So we go to zoom.us/test in order to test computer audio. And so the first thing we want to do, test speaker. And so you can hear that. It's playing through my speakers right now, and so it's telling me I can play with volume to figure out, do I need it to be louder or softer, or maybe my speakers don't work on one side. The other thing too is, I've got multiple devices on this machine. I've got a Bluetooth headset, I've got a wired headset, and so what device do I want to play my sound on? So I'm just choosing speakers for right now. Same thing with microphone. I can test my microphone. Mic check, mic check, mic check. And
test my microphone.
Here it goes. It's playing back. So I could hear my volume pretty well. So I know I've got a good volume set. And again, just like in speaker, I could choose a device. So if I really wanted to be using my headset microphone, I could choose that instead. And then I would test that. Notice here I have volume settings. So you could make your volume set at one place, and I personally am in the 3/4 to 4/5 range. You could also turn on this, automatically adjust volume, and the Zoom controls the mic sensitivity for you. And that's a good thing too if you're not playing any background sound, like music. Like if you're not playing music in your room that you want other people to hear, it's just your voice, this is a good setting. But if you plan on having music playing while you're talking to people, I would turn this off. The reason I say that is a Zoom was intended for virtual meetings. It prioritizes voice. And so it will dampen the sound, any background noise, or anything it thinks is background noise. And music is one of those things. So when you're talking and music is playing, Zoom is going to try to dampen the frequency range of the music. And then your folks online aren't going to hear the music. They'll hear your voice, but your music is going to cut out. So if you uncheck this box, you have a better chance, not an ideal chance, but a better chance of your voice and your music also being heard. Now, if you wanted to go and find that video I did that was meant for dance instructors, because I go a little more heavily into audio settings for people that need to play music. But for a dance student, we're good for audio. We've tested our speaker, we tested our mic. We want to test our video too while we're here, so I clicked on video. I have only one webcam on my computer. If I had a USB webcam, I would plug that in and test that instead. So I've got that. If I had an older laptop, I probably would uncheck this Enable HD, because Zoom is a resource-heavy, application. HD just means my computer is going to have to work harder. So I would uncheck that if I'm on an older laptop. Touch up my appearance is one of those kind of hokey things, smooth skin and whatnot. You could certainly leave that on. I'll always allow display participant names. I like having that on because I could see who's talking, like the name of the person. Maybe I'm in a class and I don't know who this person is, and just like in an in-person experience, you would say, "What's your name?" and that kind of thing. Here you can engage with people so that when you're talking to them and you're talking to the instructor, then you want to make a comment to another student, you actually can call out that person's name. It's great for engagement. The other thing you might want to think about is, do you want to turn off your video when joining a meeting? And what that means is this. When you enter the meeting, should your camera already be on? And for some people, they would rather just manually turn that camera on. So if you are then yeah, don't just check this box. But if you don't mind that your camera's already on as you enter, because maybe you're the type of person that forgets to turn your camera on, then you'd uncheck that. But this is really just an issue of privacy. Okay. And then the thing I do want to mention for dancers is this: enable mirror effects. So right now you can sort of see I'm not in mirror, so I've raised my left hand, but on my screen it looks like it's my right. This is what people see. People see this online, all right, when they look at me. If I click enable mirror, now it's matched up. The hand is now technically on my left side, so it's matching my hand. People don't see this. They still see the original way. So this doesn't impact what they see of me, but it impacts me. And if I were using Zoom as a mirror for my dancing, which I know dancers do when they're dancing in front of a mirror, maybe you want to enable mirror effects. So that's something that you want to consider. If it throws you off to see yourself not mirrored, click that box. But it doesn't affect how people see you. People are still going to see you the normal way. All right? So that takes care of test. If we were to go to the iPad, and I click open, and I'm actually already logged in, so it just took me right to my personal, my free version of Zoom. And if I wanted to join a meeting, there it is. Oh no, it wants the meeting ID number, so no, it won't let you do the test. But you do have settings here. You can see don't connect to audio, turn off my video. So in your Zoom app, you could join with your video off. You could join without connecting to audio right away, and then you would have to manually do that in the meeting. And again, these are privacy settings, so if you want to join meetings and have it so that people don't see or hear you right away, you would set those on, okay? And that way when you enter the meeting, you're kind of assured but that people won't accidentally hear or see something they're not supposed to. But then that means you have to manually turn on your microphone and camera when you get into a meeting. And I've actually got a meeting started right now, so I'm going to go into one of my meetings. So one of the things, while we're here, one of the things I wanted to talk about is the way you would join a meeting, okay? And some dance instructors, they just share the link that you can click, a URL. And if you click the link, whether on a mobile device like this that we're looking at or whether on the laptop, the link will just find your Zoom client and it'll open it up and it'll take you right into the meeting. If your dance instructor shared with you a 9 or 10 digit number, that's the meeting ID, and this is where you would type it in. So the meeting I need to go to is 557 140 568. 568. So I'm going to join the meeting. And here it is. So now it's asking me, do I want to turn my camera on now? Am I ready to turn my camera on now? I'm going to pretend no for right now. Okay, so join without video. Now, always show video preview when joining a video meeting. You see how I've got that checked? I've got a double security for myself. I ask myself, do I want to turn my video on? You may not have this setting turned on, at which point you wouldn't see this video preview. So that's really up to you. But again, let's go in without video because I want you to see what it's like to turn on your video. Okay, here we go. So now I'm in the meeting and I'm being asked, do I want to join the audio? I would say yes, I do. You have to join the audio in order to hear or be heard. And you've got, this meeting has a few different versions. It has a computer audio version. It has a dial-in version, which means I could use my phone and hear the audio over my phone. And it has call my phone also, which means I could type in my phone number and the Zoom will call me. But that's not an option for all Zooms, so you may not see this. It really depends on the dance instructor's meeting settings. For today, let's just use call using internet audio. And so now I'm connected. And you can probably hear a little bit of echo because I'm coming out my iPad. And so that was me joining audio. I'm going to mute myself. There it is. So this is my mute button up here. Do you see that? And there next to it is my start video. So I could start my video. And here I am. That's my video. I'm just flipping. I touched my video. Hello, everybody. And that brought it big. And now I touched it again. And that brought up the remote person big. And so I could stop my video. Now, one of the things that I like to say to people for dance class in particular is right now you're in speaker view, which means big picture, little picture, basically. Big picture is whoever last spoke, and little picture is everybody else who's not talking. In our case, the big picture is the far side. But when I'm into a class and it's important for me to see everybody equally and be able to engage with everybody, I like to turn on gallery view. And so if I turn on gallery view, take a look at that. Now both sets of folks are in the meeting. And I might as well turn on my camera so it's not so discombobulated. There's my camera. And then I'm actually going to join this meeting from my phone also, so everyone can see what it looks like with more than 2 people. All right, here we go. I'm about to enter. I'm going to enter with video on my phone. You can see all of my backgrounds. There I am. So this is what gallery view looks like. And if there are more people, the images get smaller and you could see everybody. If I turn my camera sideways, that's actually a better way. So again, if you were, since we're in a mobile device right now, I do want to mention to folks, it's better if you could turn your mobile device on its side. That gets you more real estate for your camera, and that's the real experience for dance class anyway. We don't watch things vertically, we watch everything horizontally. We have 2 eyes that are side by side, not on top of each other. So we really should be turning our devices on their side also. So this is what it looks like in gallery view. And if I were to click on that and switch to active speaker, and then if this were to start talking, let me just do this, mic check, mic check, mic check. You see how it switched to me, but then now this one's going to start talking, mic check, mic check, mic check. There we go. So that's what it looks like when you're in speaker view versus gallery view. Now why don't we switch to the laptop and let's join this meeting. So again, like I said, if you just join using the link that is provided by the dance instructor, it'll just take you right there. But if you were given the meeting ID, you could go to zoom.us, click join a meeting, and type that meeting ID in. And let me grab it again. How many times am I going to mistype it now? 557 140 568. I think I got it on the first try this time. And so you can see the computer wants me to open up my Zoom app, and I am. And there we go. Now check this out. This one just entered the meeting. It didn't ask me as a preview, do I want to turn on my camera? So that was a slightly different experience because on this computer I had a different setting. So I came into the meeting. I'm being asked right away, do I want to join with computer audio? And I have phone call or call me as an option. I do want to say yes to computer audio. And notice I'm still muted though. All right, so that's actually a great thing. Some meetings, if you join computer audio, you're unmuted right away, and that's a meeting setting by the host. So some hosts have what's called mute upon entry, which means everyone can have their mics on when they enter, but they're muted right from the get-go. But that setting is not always on. And if you go into my again, my advanced tutorial for dance instructors, you'll see that I recommend people turn on mute before entry. Let's turn on my camera, and there's my camera. And so now there's 4 me, and we're looking at gallery view version, and you'll notice on the laptop it defaulted to gallery view. If I want to go to speaker view, this is what speaker view looks like. And if one of these guys talks, let me make this guy talk. Mike. There we go. So, but if I go back to gallery view, this is what it looks like. Okay, again. So here we are in gallery view, and let's say I want to now engage with people individually, and I've got their names here. So I could call out a name and say, hey, Vipal, that was a great way that you did that move. I think I'm going to try to copy what you're doing. Great, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. If you want to chat with folks, there's a chat button down here. It brings up this window. You could chat out to everyone. Nice to see you all. You could chat out to just the instructor. Please go easy today. And you could chat to another student. I like your scarf. I am just making stuff up. And then they would all be able to chat stuff back to you, either in private, and no one else sees the private stuff except you see those messages. And then the one to everyone else, obviously everyone will see that. If you are in the mobile app to do this, so we're gallery view, you would, depending on the orientation or the screen size, you would need to click that triple dot and you get this chat. And check it out. There is actually a notification up in that corner. And that notification tells me I've received one chat, right? And this is the Vipal one. Nice to see you all. Oh, this is the one that got everyone's message. Right? Now, if I sent a private chat to this, that notification would show up also. So the notification shows up in here if there's a chat. All right? There's a notion here, raise hand. And if I go back over here, what raise hand does is it's a non-verbal cue. It will let the host know that somebody has a question, and the host gets a notification on their screen and says, "Oh, Vipal, you've got a question? Yeah, sure. Why don't you unmute yourself and ask me your question?" And that's the way that the raise hand feature is used. And if I were to go, I guess I am back here. If I were to get rid of Zoom chat and go into participants. Here's raise hand for people on PCs. It's down in here. Oh, here, you could kind of see it. So this is the notification that an instructor would see, the raised hand notification. Somebody's got a question, and I could see that they have a question. Notice for laptops, you can also pop this window out, so you can move it around as you need. And if you want to merge it to the meeting window to put it back, that's fine. And then you want to close it. Same thing with the chat window. Let's turn chat on, and then you can pop that out. Okay, so what other settings are there? Now, you'll notice there's a record button here. If I click it, it says, please request recording permission from the meeting host. So the host has to grant me permission to record. Now that's a meeting setting that's particular to a host. Some hosts have it turned on where anyone can record, and other hosts, like this meeting, is you have to ask permission first, where literally you unmute yourself or you chat it out and say, can I record this? And then the host has to click on you and give you specific permission to record. But the neat thing too is chat messages, if these are important, like let's say you're having a side comment or just general chat, say everyone put out your phone numbers so we can call each other, or give your emails so we could email you, or here are tips for the day, go to these websites. So you want to save those because you want to look at them afterwards. You can click the triple ellipses here in the chat window and click save chat, and then that chat, when you leave the meeting, the chat gets saved as a text file to your computer. Alright, so we've talked, where else? Now the only other thing I wanted to talk about is in the video portion. So we talked about engaging with people specifically, calling them out, using their name. Let's say that you're in gallery view right now, but you as a dancer, you really want to just pay attention to the instructor. Well, I can find whoever the instructor is and pin them. I click on the triple dots over their video and I pin their video, and there it is. Now I'm only paying attention to their camera, maybe because that's all I need to see. Instead of being in gallery view where I see everybody big or see everybody equally, I could just see the instructor big, or I could see another student if I want to really watch that student's movements, see that student big. And then when it's time to go back to collaborating, I just unpin the video and I go back to gallery view, and there I am. All right, so let's go into the mobile device and let's take a quick look at this. So in mobile device, we're in gallery view, and you'll notice that there isn't really a way to pin video. That's not a feature that the mobile device has. Instead, what I would do is I would switch to active. I would find the person I wanted to see specifically, and I would click on them. So that's how you do the pin video in a mobile device. And I think those are kind of the important things to know about this. There are other Zoom settings, but because a lot of people are in the free Zoom, I can't talk about them here. Breakout rooms is a big thing, but I don't think that's getting rolled out to a lot of folks because many folks are doing this in free. So I'm not going to talk about this, but maybe I'll bring it up if you want to message me or shoot me an email. I'm fine with that, and I really hope that you find this useful and enjoy taking dance online, and we'll be seeing you soon. Thanks, bye. Whoops, actually no, that wasn't the end. One thing I forgot to mention was, because Zoom is a tool for virtual meetings, it really wasn't designed for multiple people talking at the same time. So you'll find that if multiple people are talking, you'll really only hear one or two people. You'll hear one dominant, one a little dampened, and everyone else is just not heard at all. So for Zoom meetings, it's really important that you take turns speaking in order to clearly hear each other. I know that kind of sounds like an obvious thing to say, but in meetings, in-person meetings, you certainly could raise your voice and sort of become the dominant voice. You can't really do that in Zoom. Zoom will just take whoever it heard first and make that person the dominant voice. So just sort of, be on good etiquette, manage speaking in turns, and you really should have a good experience taking dance class in Zoom. All right, now this is a real bye. Thanks very much. Let me know if you have any questions.